Hey guys, so I've had quite a few people asking me to put the Nexus 6P camera to the test here against some of my other handsets, and we do have the Xperia Z5, the Note 5, the iPhone 6s Plus and the Moto X Style / Pure. So I have been out and about and wanted to do a quick little video here checking out how it compares here. DxOMark have been saying it's a very strong camera. In general, it's obviously 12 megapixels, same as the Nexus 5X. Whereas we do have some slightly higher megapixel cameras here on the table, but as we know, that doesn't always mean like you're going to get better picture quality. So first, before we have a look here at the actual images, we can just say something in regards to the camera apps here. They are actually all quite different. I think that in general they have their strengths and weaknesses here. I think in general the Sony gives you the most stuff that you can put on in regards to like settings as well as features. Some might call them gimmicks, but you can have a lot of fun here with the Sony. On the opposite side of the scale we have the Nexus and the Moto X here, which barely give you anything really to play with. One thing that is pretty good about the Note 5 is the fact you can put on obviously the Pro mode. So if you go into the settings here, you can see we do get access to a full like DSLR experience, which is very nice. And also you can put more settings on in the settings there. But I have tended to keep it on like auto for the most part. There was a few shots I did with the manual mode just to get the kind of most out of the Z5 camera as well. So you can have a look here at some of the images I've been taking with these devices, and you can have a look at the image quality. Now, personally, I've said it before, I think that I'll say it again, whichever one you get, you're going to get a very good experience here in late 2015. However, I do think that they have slight strengths and weaknesses to be aware of here, which may swing your, which one you prefer. Now, what I did see, there was a definite variation in terms of the speed of each of the cameras, with the Z5 probably being the slowest to take the shot versus like the Moto X and the iPhone, which is probably the fastest, along with the Nexus, which I do really enjoy, like fast camera. In terms of the image quality, I think the Note 5 and the Nexus were probably the strongest in this regard. I've seen on DxOMark that I think the Nexus 6P is ranked very highly. Z5 is also ranked very highly as well. But personally, on my kind of experience here looking at these, I'm thinking it's the 6P and the Note 5 here which are giving me the nicest kind of pictures in most kind of scenarios. The Z5, very close on some of them, but one area where I do notice the Z5 seems to struggle a little bit is in terms of the lower light. It doesn't seem to be quite as good at the moment as the 6P and the Note 5 as well. Regardless of what DxOMark has to say, I think that you're going to get nicer images here with these two. The Moto X Style is actually quite good as well in terms of the low light. It's people have been criticizing it, saying it's not quite up there, but I was pleasantly surprised by the quality of the images. However, I think in front of the pack probably is the Note 5 and the 6P here. And in terms of the iPhone, very good generally, but there's one thing I do notice is like the crop shots here, which don't look quite as engrossing. I do wish Apple would allow you to do widescreen shots. However, I do really appreciate the speed of the iPhone. That's one area which is really good. It tends to be quite strong in most respects. It handles the macros, the HDR very well, as well as the video. And I did take some video here, and I think this is the area where you're going to get the kind of best performance from the Sony Xperia Z5 and its optical image stabilization. But you can have a look here nevertheless and see what you think. So as you can see here, the video recording is in the domain of the Z5. It's the undisputed king, really, when you consider how fast it focuses. You can barely even see it. The 6P is also very close behind, very fast focusing on the 6P. Slightly slower on the Note 5 though. I don't think that's particularly a strong point. I think that the Z5 is much better in that respect. But at the end of the day, as I said, they do have their strengths and weaknesses here. I think that in general you're going to get very nice performance from all of them. Pretty much, at the end of the day, we've reached a point, I think, where we're at the pinnacle for 2015. But there are some handsets that are still due to come out, like the Lumia 940, which is getting quite good previews. Actually, people have been saying it's quite like the Lumia 1020 in terms of the quality. So we'll have to definitely check that out. But as I said, I think that I'll leave it up to you to decide which one you think is the nicest here. Personally, I think that they all did quite well given the circumstances. It wasn't the nicest of days, but at the end of the day, as I said, not everyone will prioritize the little differences here. But yeah, I hope it's helped you in regards to choosing one of these if you're looking at the camera kind of aspect. I will be doing some other comparisons when I get some new handsets in with the 6P, so do stay tuned for that, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers.